So the topic that we're going to discuss in this video is all about inverse of a function. So given with the function, which is, for example, f of x equals 2x minus 7, how do we find the inverse of this function? So to find the inverse of this function, all you have to do for step 1 is change f of x to y, because they are equal in the same sense, and copy the function. And after that, just switch the x and y. So instead of y here, that will become x. And then instead of x here, it will become y. So that's just how you solve or find the inverse of the function. And after this, all you have to do is isolate y to the other side. So then it will become x plus 7 and over 2, which is equal to y. And thus, the inverse of this function above, which is 2x minus 7, is x plus 7 over 2. So that's how you find the inverse of a function. Given with the function, change f of x to y, and then just change the x and y. So just interchange the two, or swap the two. The y becomes x, and the x becomes y. And then after you do that, you just isolate y, and that is now your inverse of the given function. So now, what does it mean when two functions are inverse of each other? So here's the graph of this function. The red one is the graph of 2x minus 7, and the blue one is the graph of x plus 7 over 2, wherein these two lines are inverses of each other. So by means of saying inverse, so if two functions are inverse of each other, if you give or assign certain points, let's say I want to know what's 0, or I want to know what's on the point negative 7, 0, the inverse of that function or the graph will give you the opposite coordinates. So if we have here negative 7, 0, on the inverse of that function, you will have 0, negative 7. Well, you can see that here. This point, negative 7, 0, and this point, 0, negative 7. And if I say this point, that's 3.50. Also, for the other function, that would become 0, 3.5. And that's here. Alright? All points or coordinates, you will see, is just the inverses of each other. So that's why they are called inverse, because their coordinates are just exactly the interchange, or the reverse or the inverse value of the coordinates x and y. So in general, in mathematics, an inverse of function or anti-function is a function that reverses another function. With that being said, if a function f applied to an input x gives a result y, the inverse function g to y gives an output x, and vice versa. So that's what basically an inverse function is. And to find the inverse, just like what I've said, and solve here, all you have to do is interchange the y and x and solve for y. And that's it for this video, guys. If you got something and learned something, I'm glad, and thanks for watching. Peace out.